Hi everyone and welcome to this new series of Tales of the Tapes for all the James Bond films. And of course we're going to start chronologically with the first James Bond film, Dr. No. I have got to say that this film contains product placement for Red Stripe.
Right.
And I also like Red Stripe, so if you want to send me a case for promoting them in this video, please feel free, Red Stripe. Anyway, excuse a bit of fun there, back to our film. As we know, it's the first James Bond film adventure from Ian Fleming's fifth novel. In terms of it being faithful to the novel, it pretty much follows the book. There's a few deviations here and there for budgetary and other reasons. Another reason is Honey Rider. Honey is played by Ursula Andress, who is iconically stunning, I think we've all got to say. In the book, she's got a broken nose and had a bit more of a problematic background, but beautiful nevertheless. So, in the film, released in 1962, at a budget of about 1.1 million, which is about $11 million in today's money. $11 million. Just think how much No Time to Die cost. And this was made for $11 million in 2023 money. And it got a profit just shy of $60 million. So hugely profitable at the time. Was the first James Bond adventure. Fleming, don't forget, was still alive. Sean Connery took on, as we know, the iconic role of Bond, and probably the most famous cinematic introduction ever.
I admire your luck, Mr.
Bond. James Bond.
And we've all read things about who could have been Bond. Would it have been Cary Grant? Was he too old? Did people not want to commit to a long film series? Who knows? But anyway, Connery got the role, and what a career he had, how iconic he was for Bond. Many people think he was the original and the best Bond. The film was directed by stalwart director Terence Young, who'd worked with Broccoli and Saltzman at Eon Productions when it was Warwick Films beforehand. And he took Connery under his wings, as we all know, and made this rough and ready Scotsman from Edinburgh, Big Tam, as he was known in his youth, into the suave and urbane James Bond 007. The film has been criticised for being more of a police procedural, and Dr. No even says to Bond,
"You are just a stupid policeman."
But the plot holds up very well today. An expected radio transmission from the British government in Jamaica goes off air. Bond is sent to investigate, and there's some concern whether there's going to be a toppling of an American missile being fired, and Bond teams up with some of the locals and meets Felix Leiter, who will be in the Bond film many times over the years, this time played by Jack Lord. Now, Jack Lord has a reputation from some on the set of Dr. No being a little bit awkward, but listening to the Blu-ray commentary from the cast and crew, everybody says he was great. And of course, Jack Lord went on to star in Hawaii Five-0 with that fantastic opening sequence. So we've got Connery, we've got Bernard Lee starting his role as M. Q wasn't in it, somebody else played the quartermaster, and Lois Maxwell as Miss Moneypenny. So the Bond family was being assembled, as also off-screen. I've got to say that some of Ken Adams' sets in this, I think one of them cost about $750, where Professor Dent goes and sees Dr. No. It's very, this film was made on a budget, and Ken Adams' art direction was absolutely stunning.
Why have you disobeyed my strictest rule and come in daylight?
The production's pretty lavish, even for 1962, for a low-budget film. But there's an effect at the end of an explosion, and this explosion is absolutely superb. The model work is beautiful, and it stands up well today. Yes, a lot of people think, oh, it's the first Bond film. It's a really old film. I think it's quite vibrant, it's exciting, and it's a very good Bond film. In terms of this VHS copy, this is from the 1992 UK release, and when you put the Blu-ray ratio up against the actual VHS ratio, there's not that much different between the 1:66:1 and the 4:3 TV ratio. I've got to say that this VHS tape is one of the best quality ones in my collection. The colour's lovely. It stands up for viewing today. Now, the original film is in a 1:66:1 ratio, and this is 4:3 pan and scan. This is not the letterbox edition, which doesn't really matter when you're going from 1.66:1 to 4:3. There's not that much of a difference. The picture's nice and steady. The colour is lovely. As I say, it looks really good today. Released in 1992. The later ones in this series, there's the tape. The later one in this series, which we'll get onto, because we're going to go through all of these tapes, had some artwork on the inside. I used to bought this in October 1992 from HMV in Sheffield in a sale for £7.99. I was a student in Sheffield at the time. I was building up my Bond collection. It's a PG certificate, and it's a very, very underrated Bond film. Yes, Connery in it is a little bit stiff, a little bit aggressive, a little bit kind of angry with some of his dialogue. And in From Russia with Love, he really grows into the role, and by the time Goldfinger comes, it's perfect. But he's excellent in this. As I say, it's a little bit more stiff and starched. I think he's trying to be a little bit more the English gent than in later films. But his performance is great, and he looks brilliant, especially with his dress.
My tailor, Savile Row.
That's so. Mine's a guy in Washington.
So with the plot, he's gone to Jamaica, ends up on Crab Key, where his associate Quarrel gets killed by a flamethrowing machine, which the locals think is a dragon, meets with Honey Rider, who's... In the book, she's more feral. In this, she's more urbane. But she makes a living by collecting shells, and she's a very innocent young girl who Bond looks after. They get captured by Dr. No. Meet Dr. No, and Dr. No's lair is wonderful. Now, some of the science is a little bit outdated. They try and wash some radiation off them, if only. But they meet Dr. No, who's an agent of Spectre. In the book, he's got metal claws on his hands. He's got metal hands that crush things in the film. As we all know, Ian Fleming's friend, Noel Coward, was asked to play the part of Dr. No and replied, "Ian, Doctor, no, no, no." So American actor Joseph Wiseman played the role. Dr. No was portrayed to be of Asian descent, and Joseph Wiseman wasn't. So there has been some criticism recently for different portrayal of racial stereotypes. Don't forget, this film was brought out in 1962. The book, on the other hand, has some more problematic language, looking at it through the lens of 2023. But the film, it isn't problematic, apart from some may say Dr. No's casting. But we can't go back and change it, can we? So Dr. No has built a transmitter to topple American nuclear missiles on behalf of Spectre, and Bond, he has this big nuclear reactor that controls it, and Bond and Dr. No have a fight in the nuclear reactor, and which will become a big tradition in Bond films. Bond will end up with a girl in his arms next to a body of water, in this case a boat in the sea. In this series of videos, we're going to score each Bond film for its mission, which is the story, the spectacle, which are the visuals, and the music. Dr. No scores a steady 006 out of 007 for the mission, for the story. It still gets your attention in 2023, and it's a damn good watch. The spectacle, because of Ken Adams' gorgeous set work and art design, I think the film still looks gorgeous today, and the lovely explosion in the iron ore dock at the end really holds up today. So I'm going to give the spectacle 006 out of 007. Which brings us to the music. I'm only going to give this 002 out of 007. I think Monty Norman's score really lets this film down. It sounds ever so dated. Saying that, this is the first time we heard John Barry's iconic arrangements of Monty Norman's James Bond theme, and that's stood the test of time. It's wonderful. As does some of the calypso music, some of the Caribbean music in it. It sounds great. But I think Monty Norman's score really does date this film, and it sounds more like something from the 1950s than a sharp modern action thriller from 1962. Which brings us to the fact that it's the only Bond where James Bond actually sings.
Underneath the mango tree, my honey and me.
Who's that?
Sean Connery had sung professionally before in the chorus of South Pacific. So, and he's a pretty good singer. I'd like to see more of Sean singing over these, but hey-oh, that's not to be. Which brings on to Ursula Andress's voice. It wasn't hers. An actress called Diana Van der Zille dubbed her. Did she sing Underneath the Mango Tree? Or did Diana Coupland sing it? We don't know. A lot of people have been reading recently that the barometer has been swinging more towards Diana Van der Zille singing it than Diana Coupland, who's probably more known in this country as being Sid James's wife in the 70s sitcom Bless This House. So the next version of the film I bought was an NTSC copy of Doctor No on DVD. Now, I had a multi-region DVD player, and these come out in the US and Canada before the UK, and this was actually bought on holiday in Canada, and it was quite a good deal. I got the first box set. Really nice artwork inside. The soundtrack for this is in mono, and yeah, it holds up okay today, given the limits of the technology. Says somebody who's just been watching a VHS of it. What I do like about these original James Bond ones was the title menu graphic. Don't we miss that on Blu-ray?
Welcome to Dr. No Special Edition DVD. Please activate your navigation system now.
Bond. James Bond.
.007 is here, sir.
Very nice indeed.
Stand by to transmit. Wait out.
Now this features much of the amount of special features that's on the Blu-ray. I want to say, terrible packaging, beautiful original poster packaging. For the Blu-ray of this, most of the special features on this are on this. But on Blu-ray, it looks gorgeous. It really does. The colours look vibrant, especially the red Quarrel's red t-shirt he wears. Doesn't that look amazing? And the beautiful beaches. It looks beautiful on Blu-ray. I've only seen it in 4K on Amazon Prime. Is it better than the Blu-ray with the constraints of streaming? Maybe a little bit clearer, but I watched the Blu-ray this week, and that really stands up as a very good one in the collection. And yes, I would buy a 4K ultra high definition, preferably with HDR, preferably in Dolby Vision, of all the Bond films to replace that Blu-ray box set.
Stand by to transmit. Wait, out.
I've mentioned film and aspect ratios in this video. If you know more about the actual background of the film process and film, whether it be 70mm, 35mm, head over to the Movie Collector YouTube channel where my friend John will illuminate you. It's a wonderful channel and he's serious Mr. Home Cinema. What a great channel. And also Double Bill Movies, who used to work mastering DVDs and Blu-rays, and just talk about the length of time and complexity it takes to do this. So when people say, I wish Ian would bring out the 4K Blu-ray release, it takes a really long time. Now we all know that the films are stored, locked away on hard drives in 4K at Lowry Digital, but to bring them out, process them for a 4K disc and colour grade them for HDR, that's a big job. So it's not going to be, unless it's already done, it ain't going to be an instant release. I really do hope they come out on 4K. What the price point will be, I don't know. Will they come out in one massive box set and we have to sum up £500, $600 for them? I don't know. Will they come out, I know we've got the Daniel Craig collection on Blu-ray. Will they come out actor by actor? Only Barbara Broccoli and Michael Wilson know the answers to this. So ask them, not me. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you subscribe to our channel because we're going to be going through all the James Bond films over the next year, however long it takes me, and also lots of other content on my own archive of stuff that nobody else wants. Thanks for watching, take care everybody, and hope to see you real soon.